good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Nice to meet
Okay, so beautiful. But the overall picture looks pretty good. We've also issues with the kidney function in the past. That seems to have stabilized, and things are doing pretty good. So it's always nice to see it. Um, so this whole thing has been.
I want to say it was like 2008. It's probably like 18, 19 years old.
What was going on back then? Do you remember?
Yeah, it started off with like me having fevers all the time. And then I started getting like random boils, but I felt sick all the time. And I ended up going to the hospital because my fever got up to like 105. And so I kept running tests and everything. And I was in the hospital for a good month, them running tests and trying to figure out why I was having these flare-ups. And then they had opened it down like, okay, you were between the ages of 18 and 35. You have these antibodies. We think it's lupus. So that's kind of how it all started. And I guess I was sort of in denial about it all because I didn't when they first told me because I'm like, I'm 19 years old. I'm fresh out of high school. I need to live my life. And I started having a lot of heart pains, just like doing random activities, trying to go up the steps or go outside. I was having extreme chest pain all the time. And it got to the point where I had to go back into the hospital. And I had my first extreme, I guess you could say, heart attack or heart palpitation while I was asleep. And it was racing out of control. And the doctors rushed in and they kind of slowed down my heart rate. I guess it's some type of medicine that can kind of slow it down. So they did that and they did more tests and noticed my kidneys weren't acting right. And it was a lot of stuff going on.
That's not that unusual when people first, hear these new problems for them. It's something that a very long time to sort of accept it. It's usually when people get sick enough, they're finally like, well, they got control of this. It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, inflammation around the heart is always very scary.
Yes.
That's a feature of lupus in some cases. And so we're using standard treatments, and the treatment so far has all been quite affordable.
Yeah.
A little bit of prednisone, a little bit of vitamins that you buy in the store for yourself. And then we've got a drug called hydroxychloroquine, which is, always our prayer in the beginning would be that you start that, we get way down the road, and that's all you need to take in the long run. But sometimes you need other things too. So we started doing the mycophenolate.
Yes.
On that now for a long time. We've had some pretty good luck. You don't have any particular trouble taking anything. And that's an unusual thing. Sometimes we run into those kinds of problems.
Yeah.
There's other treatments that we could use if we needed to. Right now, we're just sort of keeping it, and things are going pretty good, and you're feeling pretty good.
Yes.
You got a smile on your face.
Yeah.
And she's a very pretty lady. And it's just, I think her life is wonderful.
It is.
Did you want to ask?
The person as needed because I used to like it faithfully, but I think now that I'm working out more and that helps with the joint pain as well. So taking with this, the prednisone as needed has been helpful. So yeah, the combination of healthy lifestyle has been a world changer for my life. So
thanks for sharing. That's great.
Thank you.
I wish everybody was lucky as you are. Yeah.
All right. Hi, I'm Claudia. I'm at the Arthritis Center. I'm a patient advocate. This is my friend Victoria.
Hello.
She does a wonderful vlog, so we decided to work together. So, your diagnosis. We learned from Dr. Buck you were diagnosed at like 20?
Like 19.
19.
Yeah.
And you didn't take it seriously.
I did not.
What was kind of your thought process with that?
I really just felt like I was too young to have any type of serious illness.
Well, right.
Yeah.
You look at lupus sometimes and you Google it and it's like a butterfly rash and you'll be tired, but it doesn't really explain like the detriment it could have to your organs.
Yeah, that was a big thing I was experiencing. First, it was external,
right?
Like just having boils, and I just always felt sick. And like you said, like tired, but in my head, I'm like, well, I'm in college, I'm working a late night job, so
I'm going out with my friends.
So
like, this is a normal feeling for a college student.
Exactly. So,
and your diet's not the best in college.
Exactly.
I know that. I lived off Panda Express.
Yes.
I couldn't eat it for like 4 years after college because
yeah, it was bad. So, I mean, you know, when I first got diagnosed, I didn't think anything of it really. I was just like, okay, I just probably need to chill out and not go out as much. But as it kept progressing, I'm not taking my medicine like I was supposed to, and that's when the chest pain started hurting really bad. I didn't know about inflammation. I didn't know how it could affect your heart and your kidneys and your lungs and stuff like that. And those are everything I was experiencing. And the heart was the scariest part because...
And you're probably in school just thinking like, oh, it's anxiety.
Yeah.
Like gaslighting yourself.
Yeah, because I have test anxiety, so I'm just like, okay, but it kept happening while I was at work and I just couldn't settle. Like my body was just so frustrated for whatever reason. And I'm just like, I'm not doing well, and
I'm doing everything I should, but something's not right.
Yeah. So one of my friends took me to the hospital because I kept having fevers.
And 105 is crazy.
It's crazy. It got up to 107, and the nurses put ice packs all over my body just to like cool me down.
Really?
And the crazy part, I felt at my best. And they was like, no, something's happening with your brain where
you're like,
you're not functioning right.
This ice bath right now, though, I think we found the cure. Like, I just need to do the ice baths.
Yeah, so it was like really weird. And they was like, no, when you're that overheated, your brain doesn't function as well. So I'm thinking I'm okay. And they were like, no, honey, it's looking really bad. So
that's one of the warning signs with the sauna, I learned. Because I started using the sauna, and it's like, don't stay in there for this long because it can cause brain damage if you get to that certain temperature. And there's no going back. I mean, when would you say you started to, after your heart inflammation in the hospital and stuff, but still, I feel like after the hospital, you get your diagnosis. Who gave you your diagnosis? Was it your primary care physician?
It was a primary care in the hospital, and she became my primary care doctor because I didn't have one.
Right.
You know, I'm 18, 19, not taking my health seriously.
Right.
So I didn't have like a regular, primary doctor, so I got one while I was at the hospital, and they diagnosed me there.
Does it run in your family?
My mom does have it, but now that I look back on it, because she got diagnosed 2 years before I did, I believe I had lupus since maybe I was 14.
Yeah.
Like I was experiencing joint pain, but just not all the time. But now that I have better understanding, I was experiencing stuff like in 8th grade.
Are you hypermobile or anything like that?
I am mobile. I was a dancer, a track runner.
People are always like, you look like you could be a D1 cheerleader. And I'm like, listen, the pops that come with it.
Yes. So, so my mom had it and has it. And I got diagnosed 2 years after her.
Was it a little more comforting knowing that your mom had it too and she could kind of help you navigate?
In a way, but hers wasn't as extreme as mine.
Right.
Like hers still is. I'm like, hers still isn't that bad. She may have joint pain, but she's older. She's 64.
You're like,
so it's just like, it's normal
wear and
old
tear.
age, right? So, but yeah, when she had it, we kind of like, okay, she was fearful when she got diagnosed because she just knew I had it. Because we used to hurt the same, like, oh, does this hurt on you? And does this show I can barely lift my arm? And she was worried. She was like, I think my daughter may have it because we have the same aches and pains.
A lot of your symptoms line up with mine, and I'm a hypochondriac, so I'm going to be like, ah!
Yeah.
But how would you say navigating the healthcare system has been for you? Because I want to say, like, when I was a kid, I had surgery on my head for something. I have no idea what it was for, if you want me to be honest. But, like, that would have been... I grew up very, very poor. Mm-hmm. There's no way we would have been able to afford the hospital system now because just going in, $7,000.
Wow.
So have you had trouble getting anything covered or doctor's visits?
No. So my boyfriend at the time had really, really good insurance. And
That's the way to go.
We were just dating. Like yeah. And it was like kind of crazy.
Every rose has its thorn.
Right. But thankfully, we could end up getting married, but not for that reason. But we really did love each other.
Aww.
And but he was just like, we were only 3 months into our relationship, and he was like, well, I'll marry you if you need insurance. And I was just like, is that fraud or am I gonna get deported? Right. So it was just something crazy, but we end up getting married.
I can't even get a guy to ask me to be his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he's like 3 months in, let's get married.
Yeah, it's tough out here. But yes, we end up getting married not too shortly after, but
we got married and I was covered through his insurance.
Was he pretty understanding of like your diagnosis?
Yeah, he really was. And he was a big support system. Like when I first got diagnosed, I was in the hospital for about a month. He slept in that chair every day for a month. Like it was, people was like, "Who is this guy?" I'm like, "I just started dating him like
a week ago."
Yeah, like not long ago. So he was super supportive.
We are committed. We met on Hinge.
Yeah, right.
He said he would not give up, and till death do us part, I guess.
Right. So he was a big help and financial supporter with getting my meds.
Which is huge because medication is extremely expensive.
Yeah. It was $500 when I got out the hospital. And he had a flex spending health savings account card. And he was like, we'll just get it and we'll figure something out. And that's how I got my meds.
I love that attitude. That's that's like, we'll figure it out. Because I'm the first one that's like, first off, my body's attacking itself.
Right.
So I can't even count on myself. Like, I'm betraying myself. Who else can I count on if I can't even count on myself?
Yeah.
So was it like a big mental toll kind of too, to just kind of really accept the fact that...
It was, because I felt like life is not going to look like how I wanted to. Like I said, I'm in college. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do in my life. And getting that diagnosis just like... Okay, how serious is it? I feel like it was kind of a diagnosis that was kind of sprung up on me based off, my age and my race.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, are you just saying that and putting me in a box?
Right, because I can't get that diagnosis for the life of me.
Right.
Like, I could have everything basically line up with it. Like, I get the welts and I get, like you can kind of see my eyes swollen right now.
Yeah.
And it's just, for me, it's hard to get a diagnosis. It's more so like you're experiencing anxiety.
Right.
So for you, it was like you have this and you're trying to figure out if it's because of, your demographic or if it, you actually need to take this seriously.
Exactly. So I ended up taking it seriously when I started having those chest pains. Like, that's scary. Like when you're having a heart attack and you don't know what's happening, you just feel extreme chest pain.
Especially if it doesn't go away after like 30 seconds. Because those heart things we get sometimes and it's just like...
Yeah.
And then just having that for...
a very long time. And I'm like, I'm sleeping, sitting up. I can lay down for over a year. Like, I'm just sleeping, sitting up, because anytime I lay back, my heart starts to race a lot more. And I ended up going to the hospital, and they was like, I think I had my first heart attack, quote unquote heart attack, while I was asleep in the hospital. It was just that bad. And the rapid response team came in and, suppressed the speed of my heart with some meds. And it was pretty extreme.
And definitely a kind of traumatic.
It is. And it's just like, I don't know what else to do. And then my kidneys started shutting down on me.
Well, and did they really educate you?
They did not. To be honest, a lot of the information I know is because I took the liberty to do extensive research and find other stories like mine. And but had no clue.
I mean, you go on WebMD and it's like all of your organs are going to fail and you'll die.
Exactly.
So it's like, it doesn't give you an optimistic look. And if someone doesn't take the time to really just explain, like, it's your body. We're going to figure out something to manage this.
Yeah.
Hopefully get you into remission so it's not a concern and then you can live your life.
Yeah.
But if that's not explained to you, then you're just sitting there like, all right, so how long until my kidneys give out?
Right. Yeah,
who's going to donate the kidney?
Exactly. And
I'd donate the kidney, don't worry.
Really?
Bring education upon these diseases, because rheumatic diseases mentally can take you out on its own. Because it's like you're sitting there in this immense amount of pain, but look at you.
Yeah.
You look absolutely beautiful.
Thank
I would
you.
never guess that
nobody ever would.
And that's how it always is. And everyone has a story. And I think it's a matter of us just being more willing to talk about it. Like, I put my medical stuff out there all the time on my TikTok. They're like, I can see the insurance card. And I'm like, well, it's mine, so read it to me. Like, if this is how we have to get it out, I will happily volunteer as tribute.
Absolutely.
Because lupus is scary, it's terrifying, and it's not rare.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Mentally, how would you say, I know you go to the gym, did you seek out a therapist? Did you?
I sought out therapy for a different reason, but not for lupus, but I do really well with like self-reflection.
You'll have to teach me some of that.
Yeah, I'm like, I always kind of like get a sheet of paper and I write down the things that are good, the things that are so-so, and things that are bad.
So we're gonna start having a weekly meeting.
Yeah.
Because
I'm like, I just really self-examine and like what's going right, what's not going so well, and I kind of make the choices from there. Like all the things that are bad, I'm like, can these be approved or do they need to be eliminated?
How did you accept? That's something like accept that you had lupus and this was your diagnosis.
When the pain kept happening, like I could not get rid of the pain, and it got to the point where I was on a walker for about 6 months because the inflammation in my joints and the bottom of my feet used to hurt. Yeah, I was like, I can barely walk some days, and it was just like, this is not a quality of life. And at this point, I'm in my early 20s, and I'm just like, I have to really do something about it.
Or I'm going to be in a wheelchair by 30.
Exactly. And I had a kidney specialist, and she was great. She went off on me. Like, she was like, you have a body of a 75-year-old and you're only 22.
And you were like, okay, this is harsh, but I appreciate it.
She was like, you need to eat nothing but fruits and vegetables. Like, you can do this. Like, you know, she was like, you have a medicine cabinet in your house. Like, wow. This is crazy. Like, I was on 11 different medications. And she was like, you were too young to be doing this.
Right.
And
I feel like that's a doctor that really cares.
Yeah.
And that's really, nowadays, it's quantity over quality. And for someone to sit there and be like,
get it together.
Like, you have everything you need. Go eat an apple. An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Right.
And the doctor's telling you, keep me away.
Yeah. And so my clients, like my gym clients, I always say you can't outwork a bad diet. You can't like eat horrible and then work out and think you're gonna lose weight. And I kind of say the same thing about medicine. Like, you can't out medicate a bad diet. They kind of go hand in hand. It's just like, yeah, the medicine will work even better if you have the proper nutrition.
Oh my gosh, that is like one of the biggest things that I preach. It's first off, take the medication how you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Also, if you're relying on a pain medication, we don't have your symptoms managed.
Right.
We don't want you to have to wax and wane through life. We want to manage your symptoms so you can like fully live your life.
Exactly.
Also, you train people. I've been going to my own gym in my apartment, so maybe I'll come see you.
Yes. I've been training, just trying to recover from my lupus. I'm actually a full-time.
I have your cell phone number now, guys. So I'm going to be like, you want to go to the gym?
Yep.
Today we can make another video.
Yes.
I'll be like a middle schooler, like, you want to make a TikTok?
Yes, I will most definitely do that. But I'm a meal prep provider. I do that full-time because I was meal prepping for myself to get off processed foods and eat healthier.
I'm going to have to get your information and we'll post it up here too for everyone. That way we can get you a little bit of like, because I need meal prepped. I try to all the time and it's...
Yeah, it's a lot. It's time consuming. It's a lot of work, but I love to do it. It helped me tremendously where when I cut out processed foods and started meal prepping for myself, I went from 11 different medications and now I'm only on like 3. Kind of, I say 2.5 because the prednisone is as needed.
As needed, right?
Yeah, so it's like about 2 medications, and that happened in a matter of 6 months. And I lost 50 pounds like that. Like in 6 months just from cutting out processed food, and all my blood work kind of leveled out. It went back to normal. I'm still taking my meds, and they were just taking medications off the list. It was like, you don't need this anymore, you don't need... And it was like, what are you doing?
Right, because I wouldn't know how to keep track of 11 medications. I have ADHD, and if I told you how many times, I'm like, did I take my medicine?
Yeah, it was like eating food. Like, you ate it, I ate it so much, like, yeah, take this 4 times a day.
And then at that
6 times a day, and
you get a little sick.
Yeah, you get sick, and they give you medicine for that. Medicine to take the medicine, and it's like...
A healthy lifestyle could take out so many medications.
A world of a difference. So...
Do you drink like the super greens, or what do you recommend, like the mushroom Reiki lines?
People have been doing mushroom like coffee and stuff. I haven't tried that yet, but I do like they have like a superfood powder that you could put in your in your like smoothies and stuff like that. But I really just try to stick with whole food. And like for example of whole food, like if somebody eat peanut butter and jelly, a whole food version of that is like red grapes and cashews, which is like my favorite snack.
Oh my gosh, I'm literally gonna get some tips. I'll put it up there on our page for everyone so we can all see it. That's smart. I wanna eat that way.
Yeah, I try to just eat everything in its natural form and its natural state. Instead of chicken nuggets, I'll probably do an actual chicken breast, or cut it up. I just want to eat it at its full form. Right off the bat.
I'm so excited for this time next year, guys, because I'm going to be so strong and like lean, and you guys, I'm going to have skin as and You're going to be in remission. Everything's going to be great.
Yes.
We're going to be probably, maybe we should start signing like our autographs on things.
Absolutely. Get ready.
Oh my gosh.
Pictures.
But I am so grateful that you came in.
Thank you
and
so
we had to
much.
reschedule a couple times, but like, this was great. I would honestly love to do this.
Yeah, for sure. Let me know anytime.
Yeah.
Most definitely.